Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey and welcome to a GameMaker tutorial. This is the second bit in my beginner's tutorial, so how to use GameMaker. If you haven't seen the first one, go check that out. Might be a link on screen, I don't know, depends how much time I put into the editing. And today we're going to be explaining sprites. So I briefly touched on it last time. You know, you press that button to make a sprite, I'm sure you remember that. But this is how you can use sprites and how you can make sprites as well. So when you first make a new sprite, this is what you're faced with. Yeah, I know, it's a bit overwhelming, isn't it? But really, there's only 2 buttons and stuff on here that you're really going to use. So first off, you've got the name. The name is really important. To make it all nice and even, I like to use a prefix. So I put SPR, standing for sprite, and then an underscore, because it doesn't like spaces. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's up to you. Like, you could put, I know some people put a capital S and then PR and then put the capital name. If you come from other coding languages, you'll do that automatically. You know, like Java and Python, I know they both do that. But, you know, if you're watching my tutorials and stuff, you'll see how I do it this way. So let's just call ours, I don't know, like player, because that's going to be one of the first ones that you make, is your player. So now you've got either load sprite or edit sprite, and you know, basically just use edit if you're just going to make it in the thing. If you've got an image that you've already done, you can load it, you can click load, but other than that, you don't, just click edit. I'll explain these bits afterwards, because they're kind of after you've made the sprite, but you don't really use most of them either. So let's just make this full screen so I can actually show you guys all of it. This is what you're presented with. So what this will do is it will show you all the images in the sprite, because the sprite can have several different images. It's called the image index. So first off, you've got the file. You know, again, you just use the buttons. Yeah, you can just use the buttons. So let's, I don't know, click show preview. So this button here is to make a new sprite. So if you click that, it'll create a new sprite with the width and height that you want in pixels. This is to create a new sprite from a file, so just open it and turn it into a sprite. And this one's to add a sprite from another game or something. And that one's to save it as well, but we haven't got anything here. Other than that, you know, you've got your copy, you've got your cut, copy and paste ones that you won't really need, that aren't that important. But you know, the sprite's pretty easy from here on in. So let's say we've got 32 by 32, that's a bit big, so let's make it 16 by 16. Now you're going to have an image. Okay, so you know, you can see our image here. At the minute it's just a grey square, it's transparent, there's nothing there. But if we double click on it, you open up the sprite editor. So you can use your zoom wheel to, you know, zoom in and out on it, because it'll be a bit small to start with. And then you've got all these different things, and it's all a bit crazy. Now, if you've used any, I don't know, digital art programs or anything like that before, this won't be that new to you. It's pretty similar to any other thing. So the first tool you've got is your pen. You know, you can just draw stuff on like that. That's really easy. Then you've got, I'm not quite sure what this is. I think it might be color picker. I know. This is like a smudger thing. I don't use that, so don't worry. You've got a eraser, just like any other program. Here is the color picker. So you can pick this and you can pick that color, or you can pick whatever color you want. Then you've got a line tool, so you can, you know, draw a line. Self-explanatory. You've got a polygon tool, which you can use to kind of make kind of weird shapes and all sort of different shapes you want to make. But again, I don't really use that much. You've got a rectangle tool, so let's just erase all this. There's a quicker way, but I'll show you that later. So if you just erase all this. And then we've got a clicked on the rectangle tool. So you've either got an outline of a rectangle, you've either got an outline with a bit of filling in, or you've got a filled in one. So those are the different modes you've got there using the rectangle tool. Also, I believe, yeah, if you hold down shift, it makes it a square. Same will apply when we do the ovals. So again, the ovals, you've got the 3 different settings. You know, you can make it like that, or like that. But yeah, again, if you press down shift, you know, it's locked on being a circle, which is quite handy. And then you've got a rounded rectangle. So this won't look any different to these because they are just rounded rectangles. Okay, oops. So let's just start up here. And then you've got this one, and then you've got this one. So that's a rounded rectangle. They will look different. Actually, I'll show you quickly. If we show you how to do that later. If we get rid of all this, that's the quick way of doing it. I'll show you how to do that later. We'll just make a rounded rectangle that's pretty big. You can kind of see it's kind of rounded as opposed to, it's more like an oval sort of thing. I don't know, it'll come to show later. Here you've got this selection tool, so you can select an area and then drag it around. You've got the fill tool, so you can fill it in. The turn all of one colour to one bit. So if I kind of do this and change my colour to that colour, then I click that, it'll change all of that to that colour. It's quite handy. Just change that back to black. You've got the text tool, so you can write some text. So you just tap it down and you can just put, like, I don't know, whatever text you want, drag it around, change the font, and yeah, all that different things. You've got the colour. If you press that, it opens up the fonts. Then here you've got, I'm not actually that sure. Oh, okay, it's the magic wand sort of tool, so it selects everything around the outside of it. Okay, it's all gone now apparently. And you've got the like circle selection, so you can just select a little bit like that you want to. Just say you wanted to select that, and then all of this, and then, you know, whatever. So that's pretty much all there is to it. To the making of sprites, you know, it's pretty simple, but I haven't actually gone into how you can do this bit, how you can make it your life a bit easier. So over here you've got your color panels. So you know when you click your mouse, you normally use a left click, so that's what it's default to. So you can then click on it and it opens up this. So if you've used color charts before, this will be really basic to you, but I'm going to explain how to do it anyway. If you drag your mouse around in here, it changes the base color. But you'll see that because we're on black, it's right down here. Whereas if we drag this bit up a bit, you know, we actually get the colours. You can actually see the colours changing. So there we go. That's pretty easy. Again, you could just change these values, I guess. But whatever. Or you can just choose these colours here. But I mean, sometimes they don't quite work for you or whatever. And the exact same thing on the right one. But obviously that's a different side. So you can one and then the other one, depending on which way you click on. And you've got the quick bit here, so if you just wanted to do it quickly, a rough one, you can do it here. Also, here you've got opacity. So opacity is how see-through it is. So you can drag it or you can change the numbers. So you can drag this bit and then we can draw like quite a see-through colour. Like that. Then you've got the two modes. So defaultly it comes on blend mode, which kind of overlaps it. But the bad thing about that is if you try and do what I'll show you later, it doesn't work. So basically what you can do to get rid of it quickly is if you're on replace and you hold down shift, control even, control is the colour picker, and you can just pick this transparent place. It automatically sets the opacity to 0. So if you're on replace mode, it's just like using an eraser, and it's incredibly easier. Like, you can just go to your rectangle and then bang, it's all gone. So that's how you can do it a lot quicker. So that's how you can do your opacity. I just stick it on replace. I never use blend, I'm going to be honest. And then I don't think these come in the free version, so I'm not going to explain them. So that is how you can make your own sprite. It's pretty easy actually. Where you get the hang of it, you know, you can just, let's just make a character real quick. This is going to be really bad, but I make it in like 2 seconds. Just because it's so easy to use. I'm really bad at art though, so. And then, I don't know, let's just give him some eyes and a smiley face. And voila, you've got the derpiest character in the world. You know, you can use this tool and drag it along like that. And if I have gone too fast for you guys, just post it in the comments, or just pause it whenever you like got stuck and just go back and have a look. Because it really is simple. Or you can just hover over and, you know, learn it for yourself a bit. That's always helpful. So here we go, we've created our monstrosity of a character, but we learned how to use the sprite, and its sprite's there. We can see it's all nice and intact. So now we can just OK out of it. Actually, I'll just explain these quickly. The collision checking is like what point it is. I really wouldn't fiddle with that at all. And these, I'm not even sure if you have these on the free version, but just don't use them. Just don't use them. It's not handy at all. And this is the useful bit, is the origin. So this is the point of which its X and Y is at. So generally you'll just center this, but you know, if you're having a character, whoops, you generally have that at like the floor or the ceiling or something. So we'll just center that for the time being. So you've learnt how to make sprites and stuff, and further widen your GameMaker knowledge. I bet that sounded really cheesy, but if you like this video, like it, subscribe, I don't know, just do whatever you guys do, and we'll talk to you later.